Shaun Attwood, London-based activist, doing daily Epstein videos. Thank you to Prince Andrew for keeping this story alive, shooting the interest into the stratosphere. UK, it is absolutely buzzing with stories about Prince Andrew Epstein, and the Daily Mail have done some digging into what happened the night of this photo where we've got Prince Andrew at a pimp and hookers party, and also we've got Donald Trump and Melania there posing with Madam Maxwell. I have seen this photo previously, and the Daily Mail have added some details to that night. They've actually done some research on this and found some sources. And Trump, just looking at the picture of Trump, I just can't help but laugh. With his thick hair and his big red tie, he's got one arm around Ghislaine, other arm around Melania, and almost a smile there, a bit of a serious face as he's posing for this photo. And Ghislaine's got a white wig on and kind of a snaky, leopardy looking jacket. So this was Heidi Klum's Halloween party in October 2000. Maxwell, who's now 57, she's got a leopard print jacket, gold leather pants, and was accompanied by Prince Andrew, who doesn't party. So the eyewitness is saying that Trump and Maxwell were chatting together for about 15 minutes before Maxwell left to go to another party with Andrew. Quote, "As soon as Prince Andrew came into the party, it was pandemonium because no one expected to see him there. A hooker's party for Halloween is not where you'd expect to see one of the Queen's sons. No one could believe he was there. Even he couldn't believe he was there because he does not go to parties. He just blanks these memories out, even though there's pictures of him." Quote, "Prince Andrew was with Ghislaine and they were greeted by Heidi Klum. While Andrew was chatting with Heidi, Ghislaine went over to speak to Donald Trump. He had only recently started going out with Melania at that time. Donald and Ghislaine were chatting for about 15 or 20 minutes. It seemed clear they already knew each other. Then Heidi approached and said hello to Donald and Melania, and shortly after that, Ghislaine and Prince Andrew left to go to Lotus nightclub. I saw Andrew was with this lady, but it seemed weird because she wasn't that good looking and she was older than most of the women he would usually party with. Nobody really knew who she was or made a big deal out of it at the time. The focus was on Prince Andrew that night. Andrew also said hello to Donald. They were friends, and anytime Donald arrived at a party, he made sure to say hello to every single celebrity, always. And yet Donald has just completely denied that he doesn't even know Prince Andrew. And like I said, I believe this is some kind of power play by Trump. He's got the royal family by the balls right now, in terms of Andrew could possibly be being prosecuted and incarcerated by the federal branch of the US government, of which Donald Trump is presently the leader. So, with Maxwell hiding, but she did submit a legal letter recently. She's definitely not dead. And in this legal letter, she is asking the judge to not release all of the discovery that he was supposed to make a decision about releasing by the end of the year, that could hold up to 1,000 more names of elite people and cause further embarrassment to Prince Andrew. So you've got a woman who Prince Andrew has kept in constant contact with now, that has come about. A woman who, according to victims, should be indicted for international child sex trafficking and paedophilia. she's now asking a judge not to release all these names to protect all of these elite people. Why is she not in the darkest dungeon, you know, and not being able to have any influence over what is released by any judge anywhere in the world at all? This just shows the inversion of how, if anyone else had been accused of these crimes, they would be in a dark dungeon, probably getting stabbed by the Aryan Brotherhood for child sex offences, if it was a guy on a prison yard in America, a white guy. Yet she is using all of her lawyers to insulate her and even use her power and her wealth to protect all these people who should be following Epstein into the federal prison system and facing the consequences of their actions. So, regarding the picture, it was not long after he's pictured with Maxwell that Trump described Epstein as a terrific guy who liked women on the younger side. But by the time of his death, Epstein's death, Trump had changed his tune and he was condemning Epstein. He told reporters in the Oval Office, "I had a falling out with him. I haven't spoken to him in 15 years. I'm not a fan of his, that I can tell you." A videotape from '92 shows Trump at a private party with Epstein, surrounded by a guest of Trump's at Mar-a-Lago in November of that year, surrounded by a group of models and cheerleaders. And it was one of Trump's final private parties before his real estate mogul turned his residence into a members-only club. Epstein brought his then-girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, to the outing, years before she would use the club as a hunting ground for underage girls, according to court documents. And don't forget, it was when Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State that all this got covered up. So you've got the Clinton and Bush crime families versus the Trump family. In a lot of this, power dynamics, things going on below the surface that we will probably never fully understand or comprehend. And in the last couple of days, 9 more victims have come forward to say they were abused by Epstein, and one was just 13 years old. This is a lawsuit filing against the estate by 9 accusers. The accusers, known as Jane Doe 1 through 9, are among more than 20 women seeking compensation from Epstein's $577 million estate. Lawyers for Epstein have not commented on these new lawsuits. They're saying that Epstein's abuse spanned 2 decades, often with help from associates, Ghislaine Maxwell, Jean-Luc Bonnell no doubt, and 6 claiming that they were raped. The plaintiff's lawyer Jordan Merson told the New York Post that he is still working to determine the identity of all of Epstein's associates. One accuser, Jane Doe 2, is saying in court filings that Epstein sexually assaulted, abused and battered her starting around 1985 when she was 23. Jane Doe 1 said her abuse began in 1990 when she was 14, and Jane Doe 3 when she was 13 in 2003. Those 2001, 2002, 2003, that was the peak time when Bill Clinton was hanging out with Epstein. So on November 14th, Darren Indyke and Richard Kahn, who are the executors of Epstein's estate, asked a judge to establish a voluntary restitution fund to compensate Epstein's victims. Fund's administrators would include attorney Kenneth Feinberg, who oversaw payments on claims tied to September 11 terror attacks and the 2011 BP oil spill in 2010. These guys usually come in and try and minimize the payments for people and act in the interest of the elites. So I sincerely hope that these women get what's coming to them in terms of financial compensation. And I hope Virginia Roberts is getting financial compensation as well from all of this, all of the hell that she's been through. So if you're enjoying these videos, please subscribe. Subscription logo's in the bottom right hand corner. YouTube just notified me that they've just unsubscribed a load of my subscribers again. This happened a few months ago, and I was getting complaints from people every day saying they've been unsubscribed, lots of people not getting notifications. You might want to check again to see if you've been unsubscribed to resubscribe. Thank you to all the people who donated on PayPal, Patreon, Just Giving. All those links are in the description box below this video. You're helping keeping these videos coming, and the True Crime podcast produced in a proper studio with a camera crew. Appreciate that. And if you want to see hours and hours of Epstein content, in the description box below this video, there's an Epstein playlist with over 100 videos now. And I'm hoping to get a book out about Epstein called Who Killed Epstein. My book is out for Christmas, it's doing well. It's called Clinton, Bush and CIA Conspiracies, From the Boys on the Tracks to Jeffrey Epstein. It's got a big hashtag Clinton body count on the cover. And that also is in the description box below this video. Cheers from London. Take care out there.